Change is the only constant in life, and more so in the cloud sphere, and that induces stress. Stress is part of our job. As long as you manage the stress and use it as the motivator, it's a good stress. But the key here is to manage it. If you let it run wild, it could easily overwhelm you. So, what really causes this stress for cloud professionals? There's a long list of causes. It could be ever evolving technologies and concepts. The thing is that whenever we are trying to learn something, we go online, we check blogs, we check websites, we explore various resources, and then we come across different and new technologies. We learn that there is so much to learn and there is very little we know, and that could pressurize it a lot, and that induces stress. Another cause of this stress is the learning and unlearning. What it means is that most of the time, if you're not a newbie, the cloud professionals transition from any other field to the cloud. For example, for myself, I transitioned 7 or 8 years ago from being an Oracle GPA to a cloud engineer. When I was doing it, I had to unlearn various things because there were so many things which had become obsolete, and cloud was a new way of doing things in a new fashion. For example, just to give you a quick example, as part of creating a server or virtual machines, either I had to work with a physical machine or a VM on a physical server. And in order to make a change in storage or something like that, I had to go through a very separate process, but these days I have been doing in the cloud. So I had to unlearn various things. And then it is our own volatile memory. There are so many things to learn and they change every day, and the obsolescence rate is so high that we tend to forget things what we learned last week or last month, and we had to recall them, and that could really stress us out and cast doubt on it. But the truth is that this is very natural. This happens with everyone. This is how things work. And this actually helps you out in unlearning the stuff which you don't need anymore. In order to become good at anything, practice is the key. We all know about it. And more so when it comes to cloud engineering or DevOps engineering, where you have to normally practice a thing to really learn it. But then things change so quickly and there are so many variables in it that that could induce a practice fatigue, so and that adds up to the stress. Deadlines, that is actually valid for almost every field, but in the cloud ops and in the DevOps, this is a really big thing. There are so many people who are dependent upon your work that you have to finish it before the deadline ends, otherwise the ripple effect of that delay could really cripple the ongoing work. So that is a one surefire cause of the stress. Another thing is about our own selves. We have a personal brand and reputation, and we have to protect it. And then once we build it, we have to maintain it. And maintaining the personal brand and reputation, it's a real difficult task. And some people say that it's easy to reach at the top, but it's just another ball game to stay right there for a long time. So just so for in order to make sure that our brand is protected, we have to keep learning, keep practicing, and that could really disturb our work life balance and so many other things, and that could induce the stress. Whenever you are working at an enterprise or even medium level company, or even a small one, I would say there are stakeholders which could number from handful to hundreds of them, and some of them could really ask you for the moon, and and once you get that, you have to really manage them. So but if you don't manage them well, that could put a lot of stress upon you. One of the problems I would say with being in cloud is that everyone thinks that cloud is a magic and silver bullet and it could solve everything. People would just go in and spin up resources as they would like, and they won't really care about how much does it cost, or is that the right way of doing it. For example, you know, people normally from the cloud engineering side try to provision the resources through infrastructure as code and some through some pipelines, but the users, especially the influential ones, they would just go in and create whatever they want from the console. So, and they would just think it's a cloud, it's elastic, it's on demand, I can delete it and I can create it, and they won't worry about anything else. And that could, and if you really can't clamp it down, it could stress you out fairly quickly. So you have to manage those sky high expectations in the cloud too, and that could only happen through mentoring the people and then making them aware of what exactly cloud is. Because as a cloud engineer, especially, and a little bit less on the DevOps level, the workload is huge. Because as a cloud engineer, you have to deal with so many things, whether it is networking, whether it is databases, DevOps, serverless, pipeline, CI/CD pipelines, coordinating the vendors, stakeholders, your own colleagues, boss, and it goes on and on. And on top of that, you have to learn new things too. So that could be real issue here. One another cause of stress is imposter syndrome, and everyone gets it. And if you think that you're not worthy of it and you are just covering everything up, you're not alone. As per one study from Gartner, I think 82% of people get it at one point in time in their lives. As part of your job, we have to remain abreast of what is happening out there. We have to go through blogs, Stack Overflow, Git repos, journals, YouTube videos, tutorials, etc. every day. Whenever we do that, we realize there is still so much we either simply don't know or know very little. We feel that we are not really up to the task. True imposter feelings involve self doubt, uncertainty about your talents and abilities, and a sense of unworthiness that doesn't align with what other thinks about you. Okay, so these are the top causes. There are few others, but I believe that these are the top ones. Let's now see how can we resolve the stress. Well, the key here is to manage the stress and don't ignore it. And this is how you can manage it. First and foremost, acknowledge your feelings. What it means is that you need to acknowledge your stress to yourself and maybe to your spouse or close friend. And if you're lucky to have a good manager or immediate boss, then acknowledge it to him or her. Talking to a trusted person or mentor about your distress can help you get some outside context on the situation. And if you let the steam out, you will feel much better. Secondly, you need to build cluster of friends. It's not a solo flight. Avoid giving in to the urge to do everything yourself. Share the knowledge and experience and make some cloud friends in your own team. This cluster of friends will only put you at ease and you are bound to grow too. This will also validate your strengths and would solidify your personal brand. Prioritize. This is all about managing the conflicting priorities, deadlines, and that sort of stuff. The first thing you need to do is to just don't get overwhelmed. Take a step back. Knock down urgent things first. Very important is to communicate clearly and early and continuously with the stakeholders. Trust me, that works every time. The next thing is that you need to carry on learning. Cloud engineering, DevOps, it's a brand new, challenging field, cutting edge, bleeding edge. And if we want to stay relevant, then we need to learn every day. And the reason we need to learn every day is that this is what makes us feel very interesting and exciting. But the thing is here is that don't rush it. Don't try to learn everything at the same time. Steady pace will last longer, and remember, this is for the long haul. Okay. Next, face your stress. If stress becomes too much, then look it in the eye and ask yourself whether any actual facts support these beliefs. Then look for the pieces of evidence to counter them. One very important point is that don't compare yourself with others. One surefire way to lead a miserable life is to compare yourself with others. Everyone has unique abilities. You are where you are because someone recognized your talents and your potential. Another very important way to manage your stress is to change your lifestyle. Little changes in your lifestyle can do wonders. Sleep good at least for 7 to 8 hours. Improve your eating habits. Drink water as much as you can. Move, whether it is walking, running, gym, or whatever, but move. Look, the important thing is to enjoy yourself too. You are just a blip on this planet in this point in time, in the grand scale of things on this place. And remember that, that you have got only one life, so enjoy it. I hope that this helped you. If you have any comments or feedback, please put them in the comments. Thank you very much.